Inga. I wanted to do a little impromptu live tonight. I was not planning on doing that, but really felt prompted. I should just go and share a little bit. Yesterday, I had our first call for the Heal the Healers mentorship program. Our first teaching call. If you don't know what that group is, that is a brand new mentorship group I launched for Christian physicians. And I will talk about that more later. But as I was preparing in this season over the last few weeks and months, and honestly for the last year, to launch this group, um, I something really kind of caught my attention and came to my mind. In fact, I was cleaning the kitchen the other day, and I really just had this awareness that as I started praying, I realized, wow, so often in life, I many people I meet, we have this urgency. We want to learn something new about God, right? We want to lean in our faith. And by the way, if you're watching me and you're not a person of faith, it's okay. It's okay. That's just me. And that is what is important to me. And perhaps you don't actually know me in this way, but that is an instrumental and a foundational piece of who I am and what I do. In any case, so I was sitting there, I was cleaning the kitchen, and I started praying, and I realized, wow, so often we try in our mind, we want to have all these wonderful things we read in the Bible. We want all these wonderful things that we see other people of faith doing in their life. And we want to grow in our faith. We want to see wonderful things that happen. We want prayer breakthrough. We want breakthrough in our personal life, perhaps in our medical careers, perhaps in your businesses, and you thirst for more, and you're like, God can do everything and he's all wonderful. And yes, he absolutely is. But you know what we are not willing to do? And that really kind of popped out of my spirit at the time when I was praying and talking out loud. Nobody was at home. So that we are very willing and want all these things. We want all the blessing, and isn't that a wonderful blessing? But we are unwilling to do two things to actually gain that relationship with the Lord in order to receive any of the blessings or even experience any of that. We want all the wonderful things, but we are not willing to make any sacrifices for it. And there are two things that really came to my mind, and I've seen them over and over again in my own life. And that's why I'm sharing it. But I'm also seeing it in other people, especially in our microwave culture. Number one, we are unwilling in our lives to make any sacrifices whatsoever when it comes to time commitment, because we are also incredibly busy. Yeah, sure, we are all busy, but we're busy with many things, and some of them fruitful things, and some of them just literally a waste of time. In fact, honestly, kind of, if you're scrolling through Facebook, even I'm on here and talking to you, it is kind of a waste of time, right? It is something we do to numb ourselves, to distract our mind from what is actually going on, because we just want a little break. So often have found that we want to grow in our faith. We want to have more belief. We want to read our Bible more. We want to pray more. But God forbid we actually have to invest any time. And most people are unwilling to sacrifice even 5 or 10 minutes in their day to actually get quiet before God and say, let me just spend some time with him. Now, when we do that in relationships with people around us, like husband, wife, children, friends, colleagues, guess what happens? The relationships will quickly go sideways, right? They will not be good relationships, and they will not last, or you will never get to know a person if you don't spend time with them. But we are very quickly willing to give up any relationship building time with God. And that is really, it made me so upset. As I was thinking about that and praying, I literally actually cried over that, because I was like, wow, I felt so sad about that, because I know I have been there. I have done that. I still have to make a decision every day to get up and to spend that time first with God before I spend it with anybody else. So that's the first thing. Oftentimes, we are unwilling to make the sacrifice and the time commitment. And as busy physicians, I think that is especially true. If you're a physician and you're a person of faith, I know that you probably have struggled with that because I have struggled with that, right? Our days are really busy. We're very overscheduled. We have a gazillion things going on, and we want to do a good job and on the home front and spend time with our family, but we are very quick to give up the most important relationship we have as person of faith, as people of faith, and that is with God. And I want to say to you, like, it won't work. None of what you're hoping for will be accomplished if you do everything else first, but not willing to give up some time. If you have 5 minutes to scroll on Facebook or put some snarky comments or read snarky comments or a silly post on Twitter or Facebook, guess what? You have time to actually go meet God, and it will be a lot more meaningful than any 5 minutes you can spend anywhere else. And the second thing I found is that we are unwilling to be uncomfortable. We say, well, I want all these wonderful things, right? I want to see, I pray for a person and something actually happens, but we are unwilling to put ourselves out there and actually stand in faith and pray over a person. Or we want, spiritual growth in our faith, or we want to see the miracles of the Bible, yet we are unwilling for God actually to stretch us, make us uncomfortable, and change us in order to actually experience what He's all about His character. Um, and that is very sad because we long for these things, but we are not willing to give up the time or be uncomfortable in our life. And we're often trying to put God honestly in a box. I mean, I have. We're trying to be very religious, like our service has to be that way and it has to look this way. And the announcements have to be in that structure and that long. And we have to cut worship short because we got to get to the message. But if we have everything so overstructured and overscheduled, then where is there room for a move of God? Maybe we're not allowing Him to actually have space in our lives, in our personal lives, in our congregation, in our small groups, in our workplace to actually do anything because we have so many boundaries and restricted ourselves to what we actually feel comfortable with. And I can tell you that what I realized very quickly when you think about the Bible, nowhere, nowhere in the Word of God, nowhere in the Bible says you will ever be comfortable, or you don't have to put any time in. It will all just magically appear. No, that's like a bunch of bogus. Even the personal development industry knows that. No, you have to make sacrifices. It cost Jesus everything. It cost Him His life to sacrifice His for ours. So how much more then do we actually need to sacrifice? So sacrifice your time, sacrifice your comfort level, and actually be willing and open to say, I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to read the Word of Lord. I'm going to pray, and I am going to show up until I see a move of God happen in my life. And honestly, it's kind of what happened to me. I kind of accidentally slid into this. I was just showing up to have a better Bible reading habit because I was like, this sucks. I'm not doing what I know I need to be doing, spending time with God. So I got in a habit of in the morning adding a little bit time each day to just get in the Word and pray. And before you know it, a little 5-minute devotional became a more substantial Bible reading. And now I spend quite a significant amount of time reading the Word, really studying, really praying, interceding for other people, going through a list of prayers, not just rumbling them off, but really talking to God about these people. So that is what it takes. And I have to say, the more I did this, the more I learned about God, the more He showed up in my life. And what I'm doing right now is honestly very uncomfortable. I not easily want to put myself out here and share my faith, share what I really truly believe is important in life, and that is a level of discomfort. Yet, I know and I believe that to the core of my being, it is important. In fact, I do that because I care about you, because I love you. I care about my friends. So I wanted to share that today. So don't be so quick to be unwilling to sacrifice your time. And please also pay attention how unwilling you might be to be uncomfortable, to maybe look at Christians that are not the same way that you believe, yet they have a very intimate relationship with God. But maybe they verbalize it differently, maybe they look differently, maybe they're dressed differently. Just because you don't like their outfit doesn't mean they don't have a word from God. Just doesn't mean that they are not having a really deep relationship with their Lord, right? Just because they don't fit in your box. So we see this happen all the time. We all do this because we all watch our world, whether you're a believer or not believer, that actually doesn't even matter. We all filter our world, how we perceive it, through our own through our own values, through our own history, through our own belief system. And tell you what, each and every one of us, myself included, everyone on this planet has a broken viewpoint, has a broken perspective. Even we think we are also so maybe understanding it all. No, we don't, because there are so many multiple facets to life and to this world. So I just want to encourage you. Press in today, especially if you're a Christian physician. Press in today. Actually say, no, I know this is important. I need that divine wisdom of God to take care of my patients. I know I do. I did every day of my career. I knew that I needed to have God's wisdom because my knowledge is not enough. Even I'm pretty well trained. I knew that there's things that I just don't know. In the same way, you and I both need that. So if you're a Christian physician, a person of faith, press in, spend time with God, spend time in the Word, learn about His character by reading about Him, and pray and really get to know Him. And don't just dump your request to the Lord and give Him a bunch of laundry list of things that you want to say to Him, or request of all sorts of things, but actually sit there and wait and listen. Because if we cannot do that, then how would we ever know His will for our life? And then be willing to be uncomfortable. And so I hope this helped you. I really felt like somebody needed to hear this today. So I was like, I'm just going to record this. And this is something I actually shared yesterday with with the mentorship group I just launched for Christian physicians, because I often felt like it's hard to live in faith and also be a physician and a scientist. And many people think these are two separate worlds. No, they are a wonderful harmony if you really understand God and God's heart. But a lot of times people struggle to live in these two worlds. And so I started a group, and I really felt called from God to do this, to encourage you, to equip you, to empower and mentor you, to have spiritual discipline, meaning read the Word, go in prayer, learn about the Word, what God actually has to say for your life, learn about what He wants for your life, because most of us are not clear about that. And then dive deeper, learn about what does the Bible have to say about healing, how did Jesus deal with that, and many more things. And do it in a company of people that really get you and understand you and are supportive. So if that is something you are interested in, if you're a person who says, oh my, I really could use some support. I want to dive deeper with the things of God. And I'm a physician and I'm really struggling because my schedule is crazy and I barely make it to church on Sunday and I feel kind of bad and I know I want to do better, but I have a hard time getting going. Then this is exactly for you. So, what I want you to do is you can still join this group. This is the better version, so to speak. And go scan this QR code right now. You can sign up until January 26th, which is Friday this week, and join this group. And then we're actually going to go and take a deep dive starting on Monday already, which is our first class. There we talk about spiritual discipleship, really help you disciple you and get spiritual discipline started for each and every one of us, no matter where you are in your academic or physician career, what specialty, how busy your schedule or not. Um, we're going to get started and having conversations about that, and really looking at God's word in the Bible, and then talk every week about this and then encourage you along the way. So we have monthly teaching calls, we have prayer time, we can speak offline outside the class, and then once a month I'm actually doing also a coaching call to help discuss how are things going with what we are studying right now, and how are you doing with implementing it? Because it's one whole thing to hear something and be the forever student. And I love being a student. I'm in Bible college right now, which is another good equipping for this program. But I want you to understand that it's important to also implement. We need to take action. And sometimes we can pray and we can be in a company of people, but then we also might need some help to actually put a foot in front of the other and walk out the practical steps. So, again, if you're Christian physicians, just joining us, scan this QR code, join us in this mentorship group. It will be, it's a wonderful experience. And I am just so blessed and I'm so excited about this. And I really feel like the more we lean in, we can make a bigger difference in medicine and really be the hands and feet of Jesus. And we all know the medical system is very, very broken, shaken to its core. And I think it will need special equipping for us to walk through this season and for the seasons to come, and walk strong in faith, and be the people who else is going to serve the sick and the brokenhearted, if we don't do it, and we do it with integrity, with utmost integrity, compassion, love, etc. So thank you for tuning in. If you have questions, just put them in the comments. And thank you so much for joining in. If you're curious who is watching, you can put in the comments where you're from and where you're watching from. I would love to hear from you. And if you have questions, just put them in the comments or just message me directly. With that, I wish you a wonderful evening and talk to you soon, and hopefully see you inside the program. I would love to welcome you and see you inside there. Have a blessed evening. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.